in 1916, other accounts suggested that a small band of individuals had accepted Ahmadiyya previously in 1914. Muslims in Nigeria, therefore, owe Ahmadiyya a debt of gratitude for first bridging the gap between Islam and Western education, which was initially conceived as an interloper by the old order religious scholars. As a matter of fact, there was a time during the colonial period when, and I quote, a good citizen in Nigeria and elsewhere meant one who was African by blood, Christian by religion, and British or French by culture and intellect. All others who were Muslims, animists, and so on were only tolerated and accommodated, as Fafunwa noted. Foremost among the organizations that proved that one could be a good citizen without being Christian by religion or being British or French in culture is Ahmadiyya, against the backdrop of the emphasis the organization placed on formal education without compromising the extant Islamic faith. It is on record, for instance, that the first Muslim school in Nigeria was established by the Ahmadiyya, and the same thing is applicable to the first Muslim hospital and the Muslim newspaper, since the organization became a rallying point for the Muslim elite when it was birthed in Nigeria in 1916. There's no doubt that many successes have been recorded in all spheres of human endeavor, in spite of challenges the Jamaat has faced in its quest for existence, relevance, and acceptance. We cannot deny the fact that the Ahmadiyya movement is regarded as heterodox by the majority of mainstream Muslims, and Ahmadiyya Muslims have been marginalized, discriminated against in various ways, and sometimes violently oppressed, particularly in Pakistan, where they were categorized as a non-Muslim minority in national law through the efforts of political and religious leaders in 1974. Nonetheless, Ahmadiyya Muslims and organizations are active in educational, missionary, and community efforts worldwide. There also exists a Sufi brotherhood called the Ahmadiyya, popular in Sudan and Egypt, which was unrelated to the Ahmadiyya movement. The most well-known and documented account is that which linked the pioneering efforts of Alhaji Muhammad Lawal Basil Augusto with the formal establishment of the Nigerian branch of Ahmadiyya movement in Islam. Alhaji Augusto's deep concern all the time was the upliftment of the status of Muslims through the promotion of Muslim education and enlightenment. He established the Muslim Literary Society for the propagation of Islam and promotion of the understanding and status of Muslims. Of course, I cannot be telling you about the trajectory of your history in Nigeria and the challenges that have dogged your path. What is important is that as we march decisively into another defining century of your existence, it is only appropriate that I charge you to continue to uphold the very principles that have defined your tremendous growth and impacts over the past 100 years. You have done well, and well done. Due to its timeless relevance to our fragile world and complex country, I am particularly encouraged and enamored by your motto: love for all, hatred for none. I believe that if all Nigerians can internalize the message and apply it in our day-to-day activities and interactions, we will be living a more abundant and rewarding life, devoid of the strife and tension that characterize our socio-political experience. If we all hold love for all sacrosanct, and we are all for love, in spite of our real and perceived differences, we will all be happy and fulfilled. If we choose otherwise, the case will just remain like that of the proverbial chicken on the rope. Ara orokun, ara ora edie. Love has been defined as, and I quote, an emotion of a strong affection and personal attachment, a virtue representing all of human kindness, compassion, and benevolent concern for the good of another. The words used in defining it themselves are indicative of how crucial we should allow affection, attachment, virtue, kindness, compassion, concern, and everything good to dominate our lives in relating with one another. Love is the basis of faith, as it constitutes the fundamental teaching of all religions, especially Islam. Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him, was reported to have said, and I quote, "The faith of each of you will not be complete until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself." End of quotation. This is the same message of the golden rule in Christianity, which means do unto others as you want them to do unto you. The world surely needs healing from the present afflictions, and it is love, not hatred, that can do it. Healing, and the instrument of healing of our afflictions is love. As no one can be more Catholic than the Pope, or more Islamic than Prophet Muhammad, the message of love and peace is crucial, and I urge this noble community not to relent in championing the cause of good that was championed by the Prophet himself. I learned that the lifestyle of Prophet Muhammad was that he did and encouraged all to talk softly, walk humbly, eat moderately, breathe deeply, sleep sufficiently, dress properly, interact politely, act fearlessly, work efficiently, think truly, believe correctly, behave decently, learn practically, plan orderly, and honestly, spend wisely, sacrifice regularly, serve diligently, worship dedicatedly, live peacefully, and die faithfully. However, as you are all aware, the global image of Islam is constructed by the actions and inactions of a tiny minority that grab the headlines with their horrendous activities, whether they are ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, the Taliban, or our own Boko Haram. Organizations like yours cannot afford to be complacent when the narrative or perception of Islam is dictated or informed by the fringe minority. It is my strong belief that those who say Muslims are terrorists because of these groups are either ignorant, mischievous, or wicked. I do not subscribe to such balderdash, which was partly why I risked my life at a time in 2011 to talk sense into Boko Haram when I reached out to its leaders. In 2013, the world population was said to be 7.2 billion people, out of which 1.6 billion were Muslims, meaning that 23% of the world were Muslims. By implication, 1 out of every 4 persons is a Muslim. ISIS, at its peak, had 31,000 fighters, meaning 0.0019 of the world Muslim. Now that the world population stands at 7.5 billion people, and Muslims are 1.8 billion, all the crazy people that claim Islam and perpetrate atrocities all over the world cannot be up to 200,000 if we are generous with their figures. They are still far below 1% of the global Muslim population. Therefore, let the message of love, peace, compassion, and kindness resonate, and do not allow others to dictate the perception of your religion. It is now time to double or even quadruple your efforts in the area of education, health, outreach, and humanitarian services, so that the world will know better the essential Islam, the true Islam. Let the message sound and resound that we should embrace love for all and all for love. Once again, I wish you a happy Centenary celebration, and I thank you for inviting me, and it has been a pleasure to be here with you. I say Assalamu alaikum, and I thank you very much for your attention.